Welcome to On Air with Kash. Our guest today is an artist, DJ, lyricist, and performer who hosts the Morning Hustle Show. His new music video titled Violence, directed by Kansas Bowling, premiered at Film Fest LA at LA Live and won Best Hip Hop Music Video. Please give it up for Headcrack.
The crowd goes wild. What's going on, Kash?
Headcrack, it is so good to have you on the show. I know we got to meet officially in person at LA Live last weekend. You had a Best Hip Hop Music Video directed by my good friend Kansas Bowling. The thing that I admire most about you as an artist is your passion, and you've been on several shows, and in your music, people really admire you and your honest take on what you put out there. And
Thank you.
Yes, and it's just I really see how you connect with your audience and the reciprocation that you get.
Yo, I mean, the thing is, I think intent is the key word. I think the intent of everything I do is never really necessarily for the self-gratification of myself, but it is to make me feel better and then also to give people something to feel great about. You know what I mean? Like, music has been there for me in some of my darkest points in life, right? And to be able to try to create music and other forms of art that people really gravitate towards, or maybe could get them out of a dark space, it means the world to me.
The music video for Violence was about where it's really the battle within, and some of the themes that I know that you were incorporating with the visuals was there's a war waging internally that we face within our own battles. The battles are within your mind, your body, and your soul, and you have to learn to accept those new selves and take accountability for the universe, and it's up to you to choose what your narrative is and to find your own truth to heal.
Oh, absolutely, brother, man. Like, Cash, there's so many things that we are fighting internally, or so many things that we do to ourselves that keep us from being great. And once you can wage war on those things within yourself, you could become the apex predator human being that you was, meant to be, no matter what aspect of life it is, whether it's business, whether it's sports, acting, music, more aggressive lottery player. I don't know, whatever it is you want to do in life. Once you can conquer those things that are holding you back, and sometimes it's self-sabotage, you can be an unstoppable individual, man. And I think I learned this through life lessons, and then also too being involved in, like, the spiritual and plant-based world too. Not necessarily saying I'm a vegan, but like, I've been going on ayahuasca retreats. I've been dabbling in the world of microdosing, just to try to unlock all of the different gems that the mind has behind our eyes.
Absolutely. And you address a really good point as well, too, because even growing up here in LA, I grew up around so many different philosophies, different ways of looking at life. I studied martial arts as a kid. There's so many different ways to look at what's going on inside. I do feel like just even talking to different people and understanding someone else's journey that's different than my journey, and some advice that they've given me along the way. I'm really open to I think what you're saying right now about how you try a little different things. I mean, I've tried different diets, different workouts, and also just different philosophies in life too. I mean, I love to read. I love to, even just someone such as yourself, I learn about, your background and what you've been a part of. And that's like, wow, I really feel like I got an understanding. Then when I see, knowing you a bit and then seeing you with your music video, it's like, okay, now I get what he's putting out there.
Right. I mean, it's a journey. Everything's a journey, and there's no one size fits all, prescription for what works for us as human beings to, find that happiness, internally and externally. It's almost like, when you go to like a Sam's or a Costco, sample a little bit of this. All right, this works in my life. This doesn't work. Okay, this is bad. Or this worked for him, but not for me. So it took me a long time to and I still haven't mastered it. It's still a work in progress. I even wanted to carve the time out to be a better martial artist as well. And when I saw the footage of you doing the combat classes and stuff like that, it showed me another thing that I got to tap into, because I just respect not only the craft of music, but I also respect the craft of acting. Those people who do the training so they don't hurt their scene partners, things like that. You got to take it all seriously. But also I understand the zen that comes from combat as well, because most people just look at it as violence. And you're talking to a person who just fought in June. Like, I fought a fighter, and I trained for 6 months to do it. And I had to take it seriously, or I would have gotten beat up, so so I respect it all, man. And there was peace in combat.
So this fight, really, mentally, where did you go?
Oh man. So there's this thing called celebrity boxing. Big shout out to Damon Felder and also everybody involved with that Bitcoin Rodney as well. So this has been a thing that's been going on off and on for years. Initially, the original celebrity boxing matches took place on Fox. And when it started making a return sometime around 2020, 2021, I saw a fight and I was like, yo, I want to do this. But I was thinking I was going to fight somebody who was also in radio, television, or, the world of music. And I was having a hard time securing a opponent because I don't know if people just thought, I don't know, just based off the name alone, Headcrack. Oh, he must be coming there to kill. Little do you know, like, I actually got my name because I used to shoot dice a lot in high school. And whenever you roll a 4, 5, 6, they call that a CeeLo. So that's how I got my name. However, I guess the savagery of the name made it sound like it was more dangerous than it really was. And just like I think most fighters, I'm a little bit terrified as I'm getting ready to get into this because it went from, hey, you're going to fight this guy from this reality show. Okay, maybe not. You're going to fight this guy. Hey, what about Kimbo Slice Jr., the son of legendary fighter Kimbo Slice? And at first I'm like, he fights. I don't know. But then I was like, you know what? What's the worst thing that could happen? I get knocked out. And at the end of the day, as a man, this is something that we'll all hopefully, I mean, some of us hopefully won't have to face it, but growing up where I grew up, at some point, someone's going to try to knock you out in a fight at some point. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put in the work and I'm going to give it all I got. And I think by that point, I probably had like 3 months left to train because I was training the 3 months prior for a different sized opponent with a different skill set. But I went in there and I did the work. I fought against sparring partners that were way better than me. I learned how to take a shot, learn how to give shots back. And when it was time for fight night on June 11th, they called it a draw. However, I knocked him down. He didn't knock me down. You know what I'm saying? So winning for me was going the distance. And I did more than that in the fight. And I was happy with that because I didn't necessarily stand much to gain anything by beating this guy, like, in a situation where he didn't make the 10 count, because it wasn't something like, yeah, I'm gonna fight again in 3 months. No, I was like a one and done guy who just wanted to do it just to see if I had the gas in the tank. But the headspace that I had to get in is like, yo, just imagine what these memes will look like if Headcrack got his head cracked. You know what I mean? So that was what, like, the fear of being ridiculed, I feel like, was what really made me get my head in the game and show up to the gym as many times as I did and put in the work. Shout out my trainer Pepper, shout out my manager Anna for, like, connecting me with him and getting me in the right headspace. And I got a little chiseled up, and the fight was a great fight.
That is truly inspiring. I mean, going the distance, that's so Rocky Balboa. I love it. Like I said, I'd studied some martial arts, played some sports when I was younger, but there were a lot of programs at work, or just, they were offering yoga classes and jujitsu days and stuff like this. So it's like, I was, I want to learn it all. And then actually I got into the stunt training because other colleagues of mine, you'd see on Instagram, there were a few friends and colleagues of mine, and they were posting. I'm like, where is this place? I got to check it out. And luckily, we had the last class before the pandemic. I just heard that they reopened up in Santa Clarita. So the next time you're in LA, we got to get a class going. We got to try this out. Yeah.
Absolutely, because it's such a beautiful art, because I don't want to call it like ballet, but it's such a dance. When you do, when you can, like, do the sword play and even the hand-to-hand combat and do it seamlessly where no one gets hurt. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Raid. You can't tell me that all those people didn't get killed for real, because the choreography was so fantastic. And like in the film business, or even any form of filmed media, you want to make what you're doing look believable. And it's that extra mile that you have to go to, like, really sell it. Because if you just like, oh, I can make it look real, it's different than someone who's did the training to really make it look real for stage combat. And I think a lot of times you could tell the difference.
I think The Matrix, that time around 99, that really shifted the way that movies are shot. I mean, Tom Cruise is out there challenging himself with every single stunt imaginable, but you see the training that goes into a lot of action movies nowadays. And even like prior to that, you can tell, like, oh, that's the stunt guy, or that doesn't look like the actor jumping through the window. But yeah, I mean, you watch what so many great artists have done and training that they go through. Just even being on set, I mean, I have to tell you, it's like, like, you just respect every person of every field who is there to make sure that there's the safety and to make sure that the stunt goes well. And just even being in those moments, because I mean, I remember with the stunt training, I get there and I couldn't do a cartwheel to save my life at first. I first showed up, and then they were like, I cast you a front flip. I'm like, no, you're nuts, no way. And then I was trying, and my foot got dangled a few times. And then I was like, Cash, try backflip. I'm like, are you for real? No. And then but then it's just really getting in that mind space, letting it go, completing the stunt. And I'm like, all right, I'm jazzed up. Let's do this again. So I do find, like what you're saying too, like even with your training for the celebrity boxing match, it's really getting in that mindset, being at peace with yourself and delivering the performance.
Yeah, indeed. And Cash, may I ask, how often do you do a backflip just to see if you can still do it?
I can't do a backflip just by myself. I had the backflip because of the harnesses and the wires and everything.
Okay.
So I did have some help. So it is the trainers and the choreography that are on set with me that allow me to do those acrobatics.
Yeah, I am so terrified about landing on my face or just like crushing my toes in a really weird way. But I want to be able to do a backflip before I leave it. Before I leave this earth.
Go try this out. And no, I mean, you'll have the harnesses on. I mean, you're gonna feel like a Marvel superhero or something for an afternoon. It's gonna be great.
You was looking very Avenger-y, you know, in the clips I saw, and you had the sword play going down too. It was dope.
Cool, channeling that Captain America or Iron Man or whatever I can take. I'll take it.
Indeed.
And you mentioned acting. You've had a national syndicated show, The Dish Nation, on Fox Network as well. You were on the Vans Warped Tour, South by Southwest. So you've toured some of the major film circuits and you have such a huge following. Like, what gets you inspired?
Watching other people be dope inspires me.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That it always gives you something to reach for, you know, because like, you know, the sad thing about living long is the people that you used to look up to that were the great ones, they eventually pass or retire and get out of here. And I remember just like being just blown away by watching like Michael Jackson when I was a kid. You know, like, wow, the same guy who did this song also made a music video called Thriller and he's a wolf, you know? And then, you know, when Michael passes, like, man, who do you look to get that same energy? Oh, we got Prince. Prince is dope. He's talented. He's done movies too. Oh, then Prince passes. So then when you find yourself being in the position where like, wow, people actually look at me for what I'm doing and that inspires people, but I feel like I've never done enough, you know? Like I have a few like, you know, film credits under my belt, but I always want to do more and I never get complacent. So I always get inspired by looking at even just the younger generation of people who are doing things greatly. You know what I mean? Or taking everything serious and pushing the boundaries and doing creative things. Hence why I even linked up with Kansas Bowling. I met her, man, at this point, it was probably like 6 years ago at Comic-Con. It was like her and Lloyd Kaufman from the legendary Trauma films, Toxic Avenger, if you know.
I
And
know.
yeah, so she was this young child prodigy director that came from under the ranks of them. Then like, you know, they took her under the shoulder, and I watched a movie, BC Butcher, and I was like, wow, no one's really doing stuff like this. And at some point or another, I want to try to do a music video with this person. I just needed the right song. And it took 5 or 6 years for me to find the right song that, you know, was the one. But I would also be seeing the music videos that she did for other people, and I would be completely impressed by it because she's using practical effects. No one's really shooting in 16mm film, and she just has a very creative spirit about her. And that's one thing that I always will tip my hat to for the youth. Like, I mean, as well together as we think we have it as adults who've been around the block a few times, it's always the youth, the people that's younger than us, that's going to come with some amazing ideas. And when you know how to make your ideas dance with theirs, sky's the limit.
You said it right there, and I have a similar experience with Candace as well. Right when BC Butcher came out, I'd seen her around, like, you know, we had mutual friends, so I'd see her at events. And there was this one event at Warner Brothers we're at, and she invited me to the premiere with some friends. I'm like, oh my gosh, you directed this movie, that's all, and it's premiering at the Egyptian Theater in Hollywood. That's congratulations, that's so cool. So I went, and there was this huge red carpet, a lot of press. You know, Kansas was someone who was just like, wow, you know, she's making some stuff happen. She just went with it, and I've had so much respect for her. And you know, and then I think it was just before the pandemic, was like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood came out, the Killers video came out.
Mhm.
So I was seeing a lot of her. And then we ended up right when everything was opening back up again, we got a chance to do the horror movie we were doing last year together. And then she showed me your music. I'm like, all right, we got to get you into the film festival and we got to make this thing happen.
No, it's beautiful how the universe will bring, like, you know, similar energies together to make something happen. And it may not necessarily always be at the time when you meet, but, you know, if you give it enough time, it'll do what it's supposed to do, man. And I, you know, I'm still continuously blown away. And I just thought of something today that I'm looking forward to sending her just to see what crazy idea we could come up with to do this next video.
Oh, that's amazing. Is it going to be a surprise? You can give us any hints yet?
It's been something that I've been pondering for like a week or two, because I definitely wanted to immediately do something else with her. But it's weird, like, especially like the way I do my music projects. I am so backlogged. Like I have a lot of music. And the thing is, you could just throw your music out there, but it's better and you get more mileage out of it if you like put out one song at a time and you work it. It's such a different landscape than it was a few years ago when you can hit people with like a 15-song album. Surprise. I mean, like, unless you're Beyonce or Kendrick Lamar, it's kind of tough to pull that off. So now you gotta like, in this ADD society, spoon feed people songs one at a time or drop an EP. So I'm trying to get the ball rolling and get the rest of this project out, which Violence belongs to. It's an EP called Microdose. And each song on there is like a yin and a yang. So the lead single is Violence, but the B-side is For the Love. So, hey, you're going to war with yourself, but also think of the things that got you to this point. That's what For the Love talks about. I got that. And then 2 more projects ready to go after that one. So it's just all in due time, man. So I'm just trying to move the ball.
Oh, that's what I love about you. You're so passionate. I want to see more collaborations with you in Kansas. I love the way that your minds work together. I love your lyrics, her visions, and just like what you said, I mean, the 16 millimeter. I just love when I see 2 creative minds that I really admire working together and collaborating. The thing I love about you is you're so inspiring. You're always challenging yourself. You're always moving in a forward direction. You're really addressing a lot of the inner conflicts that we have and putting your music out there, I think, to inspire people.
I'm just trying to protect my energy, set my intent right, do the research necessary, and go in there with a strong game plan and really get it done.
And that is how you live your life, my friend. That is why you continue to conquer every element of artistic form that you take on. My goodness, is there anything else that you would like to shout out to your fans out there?
Yo, first and foremost, I want to shout out to you, Kash, man. Like, so many people have love for you, bro. And I don't know if you get to like experience it or like bask in it 24/7. I love how you move, man. Shout out to your energy. And thank you so much for this platform, which you use to shine light on so many people. And by you shining the light, you're shining bright yourself, man. So first and foremost, want to thank you there. Just follow me on YouTube, Headkrack. Not only do I do music, but I also do interviews with sometimes some of your favorite celebrities or maybe celebrities who will become famous at some point to you. Also, check out my show, The Morning Hustle. You can download the Morning Hustle app on any platform in which you're doing digital things. And check out Dish Nation coming on. Check your local listings, depending on where you at, man.
Oh. Headcrack, no, thank you again. I really, the feeling is mutual. I see the love that you bring to people, the love that people give to you. Everyone, please give it up for Headcrack. I mean, what doesn't this man do? He's an artist, a DJ, a lyricist, a performer. He hosts the Morning Hustle show. Watch his new music video directed by Kansas Bowling. It won Best Hip Hop Music Video at Film Fest LA at LA Live. I'm personally looking forward to more collaborations with you in Kansas. And Headcrack, please, when you're in LA, let's get some stunt training going. I would love to collaborate with you on some artistic form, whether it's a movie, whether it's a stunt, whether it's a song. Anyway, just you keep shining your light, my friend, and I can't wait to have you back.
Yo, thank you so much, Kash, and God bless everybody watching this, man. We on air with Kash, man. You gotta love it. It's fresh air.
Give it up for Headcrack.